Yo, what's up? I'm here to make another video. This time, I'm gonna be ranking my thoughts on each and every single singularity. Let's see, part two, pseudo singularities and lost belts. How about we get started? I'm also going to be completely ruthless in my rankings of what I think. I'm not afraid of putting each thing in whatever tier. I'm also going to be looking at this as the as a perspective of somebody that's already played the game all the way through, and is if I like, and how I'm gonna think of if I play this game again. Let's get started. Alrighty. Where is it, the Yuki? Ooh. Yuki. Of course, it's gonna be the first chapter ever. Alright, it says if I'm replaying this again, but I should also take into account of new players. If I'm playing again, yes. Because boring. But in terms of like relevance, if you're like a new player, then okay. But I mean, it's not trash though. Yeah. Alright. Orleans. Orleans. I'm putting it there. It's kind of boring, but not like entirely boring. Alright. Septum. I want to put it here. I really do. It's so boring. But at the same time, it's not trash. I think we're gonna leave it there anyway. Okeanos. The Okeanos. I'm gonna put it here. Oh boy, here we go. London is falling down. Trash. America. Fuck yeah. Coming to save me, motherfucking day, yeah. It's going there. Coming a lot. I put it here. It's got good characters, and the story is good, but sometimes it'll start to drag and it'll get boring. Right, Babylonia. Karma. It's coming to take me. Babylonia. It's one of my favorites. But is it a masterpiece? Because it starts to drag at some points. Like, but it's not on the level of Camelot, though. Should I add a new tier? You know what? Fine. Babylonia goes a masterpiece. You know what? You know what? I'm adding another tier. That's not what I wanted. We're below. I'm gonna say is wonderful but not a masterpiece. Bam. Okay, I'm gonna change this color. Here, okay, continuing. Final boss of the 7 singularities. Yeah, that's good. Alright, now we're moving on to the pseudo singularities. Sorry if I'm like speed running this. It's like I already have like my thoughts all together. Alright, pseudo singularity. Where there it is. One of my favorite chapters. It's wonderful, but not a masterpiece. But at the same time, I should probably put it in great if I'm going like the overall experience. Let's see here. But of course, like I'm looking at this from the perspective of if I'm playing this game over again, would I like it as much as I did the first time? And the answer is yes, because I did replay it a second time, and I still liked it. Oh boy, here we go. Ooh. Trash. 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 Oh my god. Like, I thought we were past, like, the point of, like, boring / bad chapters. We were not. This is even worse than London. It's so bad. But not like, okay, it was boring. But it was also like, hey, I noticed you liked this chapter. Would you like this chapter but at home? I'm like, no, I did not. Thanks. Shimosa. A lot of people liked this chapter, so did I. But I think it was great, but not wonderful. Especially, I liked a lot of like the side characters. I liked Musashi, but I don't think I liked her as much as a lot of other people did. I really liked Muramasa. He was pretty good. Let's see, we also, some of the, I'm not gonna say a lot of names, because I like everything to be like a surprise experience for people that are going to be new, or people that have not just reached the chapter yet and that are playing. Some of the, I'd say there's 4 or 3 main villains of the chapter, and some of them are okay, and then there's one where it's just like, really, bro? Really? So I was like, that's what I think bumps up to like, for like, it doesn't belong here, but it belongs here. Alright, we're gonna move on now. Salem. A lot of people would put Salem here, but Salem's actually one of my favorite chapters and I would enjoy it a second time. So I'm gonna put it here. I mostly put it here because I'm a horror movie fanatic and I even enjoy bad horror movies. And this was like a B-movie horror movie experience for me and I loved it. So yes, it goes here. Boo. It's time for this now. We've made it to Lost Belt. The prologue. I liked it. It was pretty good. But we're not going to talk about the donuts. The donuts are forbidden. Alright. Lost Belt 1. Our introduction to Lost Belt. I really liked it. Lost Belt 1 was a great introduction to the concept of Lost Belt, and it was very interesting. I also liked a lot of the characters. They were very good. Like Lost Belt 1 kind of like upped the notch of like quality from the other singularities in the studios to this one. Like the music was top notch. I really loved everything about it. It was very good. You guys are crinkling. Alright, it's my bad. Lost Belt 2. I think I enjoyed Lost Belt 2 a lot more than other people. Because of its, it had other stuff going on. I mean, I think the concept of Lost Belt 2 was interesting to put in what would be called a shonen genre game. Because what we got here was like a Shakespeare level tragic love story between not a protagonist but the villains. We had a tragic love story between villains, which was very, very interesting to me. But that's all I'm gonna really say about it, really. So I think a lot of people would put it here in this tier, but not me. I think it wasn't exactly. Let's see, I would put it like in the middle of these two. That's where I'd put Lost Belt 2. Because I found it very, very interesting. I like the characters, and I like the weird new aspects that they put in it. Wait. You good? No. Wanna see who's causing such funny business? All good? Good. Alright, Lost Belt 3. I'm gonna be very honest. No. I was very disappointed in Lost Belt 3. It was boring, but I did like, see, what would I call it without spoiling it? I liked the, what was going on with the citizens. I think that's what I'm gonna call it. See, I think I'd put it in between here, really. See, what I also didn't like about Lost Belt 3, it felt rushed. And one of the characters, like on the villain side, their story arc was never completed. And I was like, are you gonna complete this? What the fuck? You didn't even, like, complete some of their character arcs. What the hell? So, like, yes, I'm gonna put it here. But if I'm gonna be real brutal, it goes here, but it's not trash. I'd probably skip most of it, though. Okay. Lost Belt 4. Lost Belt 4, I'm gonna put here. But I would probably, let's see here. I think I enjoyed Lost Belt 2 more than I enjoyed Lost Belt 4. I think I liked the concept of Lost Belt 4 more than I did 2. But the overall story for Lost Belt 4 was like somewhat kind of, like, I wouldn't call it boring, but kind of draggy. And I think we lost engaging characters too early on in the storyline. And then they kind of just come back later, and they're like, okay, well, that happened. But I love how, I mean, the other Lost Belts were really brutal, but then this one's like, oh, welcome to my Lost Belt. Are you ready to die now? I was like, oh, they're serious now. Cool. See, I also, the villain of Lost Belt 4 sounded, like, looked interesting at first, but then was not interesting, which kind of disappointed me. Because, like, this one had a lot of potential to actually legitimately be very, very evil, but was not. But I also don't like, I like all sorts of villains, but, like, sometimes, like, I don't expect villains to just be unapologetically evil all the time. Like, I still like the concept of what this villain was, but it just didn't go all the way, and sometimes it didn't make sense. For, like, the elimination of some characters, of their mindset. If that makes sense if you played it. But would I enjoy it a second time? Yes, I would. I wouldn't skip it. I wouldn't skim. Let's see, which one came first? Is it okay? Is it this one? The icons aren't great. Lost Belt 5, Chapter 1. I loved it, and I would love it a second time. It was absolutely wonderful. Actually, wait, hold on. Actually, yeah, it belongs there. My bad. Part 1 anyway? Yes. The characters were amazing. Their character arcs were amazing. I absolutely loved a lot of the character development in the story. I also loved how serious the stakes were. They were great. And they weren't exactly, I'm gonna call them villains. They were more like, we gotta get the job done since they're dangerous to our world, which was great. Because to them, we are the villains. They want to get the job done, and they want to get it done right. And they were prepared. I thought that was great. I also liked how dangerous the world was in general. And I liked that a lot of the characters that were left were kind of like the, in a harsh way, they were like the scraps that managed to survive the attacks and joined us later. And they ended up like getting stronger and better and more powerful in the mind than physically, and that was cool. I think I'm gonna say that for chapter 1 of Lost Belt 5. Chapter 2 of Lost Belt 5. It was great, but not a masterpiece like chapter 1. I liked a lot of the characters again. It was very, very good. Again, the stakes were very high, but I also felt not as high as chapter 1. If that makes any sense. But like, I really, really liked it. This was like peak Lost Belt for a long time. And of course, I would love to play it a second time if I do in the future. Alright. Lost Belt 5.5. Bonus. High in Q. Alright, I really liked this one, but for just one character in particular. I really wanted to see more of the villain, but not because I like him or anything. It's just like, this is the Lost Belt this dude created to like torture me or something. I was not tortured. It felt like your plan kind of sucked ass, is what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna put this in good, but because of one character that you team up with, and this character like carried a lot of it, carried a lot of the story, that kept you engaged with it, and that was really, this character is just really good, and an absolutely, it's a wonderful character. I liked a lot of the story, especially when you get towards like the end. Like there's like these enemies that kept showing up. One of them was like a rollable servant. And I expected a lot of this character, seeing as like they're this really powerful demon. It has this really powerful sword. It is so much storms and whatever. It shows up for 5 minutes and they're gone. Are you serious right now? Wow. Not impressed. Alright, here we go. It's the big boy. Lost Belt 6. Masterpiece. It's a masterpiece. Peak Fate, no matter what Fate game you play, this is Peak Fate. It's what I'm gonna say. I literally compare this in terms of like of its greatness to like Final Fantasy X and 7. It's that fucking good. It's so memorable, it's so engaging, it never felt boring for even a second. It's 3 chapters long, and it's so long, but it's so good. You feel engaged the entire time. The characters are absolutely amazing. Their character arcs were amazing. And the main character in MASH actually felt great. Of course, here's one of my sins. I don't like MASH. I don't like her. Like at all. But with Lost Belt 6, her chapters didn't feel boring. She actually grew up. She actually was a little bit engaging, which was good. So, it's such a like, oh my god, the villain. I'm not gonna speak anymore. Just like the villain. So good. like the reasons for being evil, good. Like, and then the world building with it, good. It's like everything about it is so good. And it's like, that's what I'm gonna say about it. Like, I don't want to say anything more than that. I think I've kind of spoken my case about that. Is this Lost Boat 7? Cannot tell. I have no idea what this is either. I can tell that this is Tron, but Tron's not out yet and should be out in December. I'm pretty excited to play it. These I can rank. Seraph. I didn't even know this counted as a singularity. But Seraph, I'm gonna be pretty plain. I love Fate Extra 1 and 2. Fate Extra is really good. You should play it. Really good. But okay, and then of course I played this. And of course I liked it because it's Fate Extra. And it's fan service for Fate Extra. And of course I'd love to play it a second time, which I already am. Okay, this, I'm super guilty. I never played this. I was working for both of those, like, I was working so much for those years that it was out. So yeah, for both years that it's rerun, never played it. I don't know about it. All I know is I use like some tower maze thingy with the Goddess of Love in India. That's all. Sorry. See, like these two, I cannot wait to play. Like, this is my list of the Fate Grand Order story chapters. I'm actually surprised of how not harsh I was. I thought I was gonna be harsher than that. But yes, I have like a lot of like standards I like to create like in my head. But then I start doing stuff. And it's like, oh, I think this is a little different than what I imagined. Yeah, I think I also wanted to make this video pretty quickly. So. Bye, and I hope you enjoyed watching the video. Bye!